While we make our dumplings, I wanted to share a life lesson that is one of my favorite life lessons that I've learned. Now, I really like cooking because not only is it a rewarding time to get to eat whatever you create, so it's just a very nice time, but there's a lot of lessons with cooking that I think can be applied to everything. So I just wanted to talk about it really quickly today. Now, when we think about food, what do we think about? Do we think about like the flavors it gives you? Do we think about the fuel that it provides? What what does food really do for us? And when we think about cooking, we can see that there's been a increase. Bless up, child, bless up, bro. There's been like an increase in convenience for food. Like the convenience means less time to prepare food, but just what are you trading for that? Well, a lot of the times it means you don't really know where that food is coming from and you don't know who prepared it. And sometimes you don't know what's really in it. And that's what you trade. So I think food is so important. It is important to eat food that makes you feel good and helps you perform optimally and nurtures your body. You know, all that good stuff. But I'm finding so much value in making my own food, whether it is going in my garden and picking some tomatoes or making a loaf of bread or even these dumplings that I'm making. I think it's so important to know where this food is coming from because that's what's going in you and you are what you eat, and that's today's life lesson, right? So food or digestion is associated with our solar plexus, and our solar plexus is able to consume, and then create, power you up. No. Okay. But with that being said, you can only be as strong as what you put inside of yourself. It's really hard to make something when you don't have anything to make it with. So that's kind of what we're looking at today. I know my dog's not barking at the mailman. He might be. He might be. So I think it is important that you take time to like know where your food is coming from and what you are consuming and how it is impacting your actions. And it goes without saying that this applies to anything that you consume or intake. He's insight about the topic. You can understand dog. Okay. I mean, Jedi definitely likes food, and he's watching me very, very closely right now, Isaiah. So you're probably right. But I was thinking about this idea like computers have storage, and storage is like the data that they intake or consume, and that's like their food. They need data to continue running at a state that is optimal for them. And then with that data, my phone storage is kind of filling up, so I'm just thinking like, well, eventually you're going to have to release. And all of the food that you eat, it goes somewhere. Like you might eat it because it tastes nice, but it's going to like do the thing that it does when it like goes throughout your body and like nurtures your body and gives it the nutrients it needs. Like we like that. We like that a lot. So when it comes to making food, tasting is a good thing. It shows what kind of chemicals, what energy is in that food, but also, how do you feel after you eat food? Like, that's the main thing. Now, convenient food, you can eat it quickly. It can taste nice, sure, but how do you feel afterwards? Do you feel Speedy Gonzalez, or food is information? That's a beautiful way of looking at it because it's true. I know that for many people, their relationship with food may differ. They may see it as, there's just so many ways to see food. But I really do believe that food can heal you if you listen to your body and you give it what it needs. Now, a lot of people, I'm plant-based, but I know that I won't die if someone gives me some fried chicken. I won't die. I mean, it's my first choice? No. But with that being said, I think it's important to respect everyone's diets. I do believe that we were given the gift to eat whatever we want, okay? You can eat whatever you want. You can eat some grass outside if you want. No one's going to stop you. But it's really about, how do you feel? How is that fueling your body? And that's the main thing that is a big life lesson with food. We are all created a little differently. With that being said, fruits and vegetables give you maybe a lot more energy than processed foods. And that's amazing. That doesn't mean that you have to, follow all the trends that you see, but it should mean that you should experiment with what you're eating. And I pray for any picky eaters out there. For me, food is, I love cooking because it gives me a space where I can just be mindful and I can really just bring awareness to what I'm doing and what I'm creating and what I am wanting to put into myself. And with that, I can set intentions for what I'm wanting to do after I'm done eating, after I'm done cooking, and I can use that intention to insist and infuse in the food so that I will have that awareness when I'm eating it and that it will fuel me towards that intention. Food is so great. It's such an amazing thing. I think it's one of my favorite things here on this experience that we get. We just get it. We get food. And I think it's really interesting because a lot of people kind of don't know where food comes from. And I mean this I live in New York and there's farmland, but it's more upstate. I live more towards the city. And I have had people wonder, where is this food coming from? And not really trusting unless it's coming from a store. They don't trust nope, nope. Almost done. Almost done. But it's so interesting because sometimes people they don't trust food unless it comes from the store, but it was grown on a tree, on a plant. And I think that's really interesting, something to reflect on. So, yes, my life lesson with food is that you should be aware of what you're eating and what it is doing for you and how it feels, and eat intentionally and nurture yourself and listen to your body and cook more because it is fun. I like cooking. All right, I'm going to finish these dumplings and I'll share them on Instagram. But thank you for joining me for this chat. I hope that it inspired you to be more mindful of how you are just eating your food and how you are cooking and preparing your food and where it is coming from. You are what you eat. Namaste and God bless.